as you know, because I think I've seen a lot of you before, I'm Fumi Balogu, the UN resident coordinator, and I came to visit His Excellency, to pay a courtesy call on His Excellency, the Vice Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and to discuss issues of national development, especially rural development, and how Timor-Leste can achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in 7 years, and the availability of UN and UN agencies to support the government and people of Timor-Leste.
Sim, hoje a mai halo reunião encontro de cortesia ou excelência vice-primeiro-ministro a tomar podíamos com a balança Nações Unidas bela apoia se continua apoia o governo o povo Timor-Leste e a tu alcança objetivo de desenvolvimento sustentável e Ekipa Tinan Hitu em mai.
Apoio prioridade saya maka si lima Timor-Leste.
What are the priority areas that the UN is going to support?
UN, as I said all the time, UN hasn't got priorities that are separate from what government has set as priorities. And in this instance, we spoke specifically around rural development, access to water, to health, and other services, but also financing. How do you finance, bring investors to social issues in Timor-Leste, and the role of UN in doing that? Because the United Nations, if you know, we're not a donor. We are here at the instance of the government of Timor-Leste, and we're actually paid with some of the money from the government of Timor-Leste that are paid in New York. So we're here to support the priorities that have been set by the government. We don't set any priorities.
Nações Unidas minha prioridade lá ia, quer dizer lá minha prioridade, mas a prioridade não é o governo decide. Neduni Nações Unidas se halo serviço nem apoio né, tua prioridade não é o governo heliano. Mas hoje em reunião o vice-primeiro-ministro a colhemos kona-ba desenvolvimento rural, kona-ba prioridade área gestão para BMOs. E o ensama kami bela apoia o aliu se reunião o vice-primeiro-ministro e mos fornoi fali kata Nações Unidas ia ne tamba itania estado itania governo maka liu se acordo com governo Nações Unidas ne tamba governo minha decisão e saída maka Nações Unidas halomos desculpa me colhemos kona-ba o ensama kata financia você ne financia prioridades sini hoto. E para Nações Unidas, no serviço UNE, se maxelo Nações Unidas, maka país membro sia nesse Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste tem contribui ao samba e a Nações Unidas e a Nova York e ao sirne maka financia a Nações Unidas minha atividade ne. Neduni Nações Unidas ne hanessa extensão ida hosi governo minha serviço nos.
Durante o UN presença Timor-Leste, área saída machira atinjoma ia Timor-Leste.
What are the UN's achievements in Timor? What areas have you been looking at?
We've had a lot of achievements with government. Again, I would emphasize that the achievements of UN's achievements are also the achievements of the government of Timor-Leste, because we contribute directly to the work of government of Timor-Leste. In health, for example, if you remember during the COVID and all of the strengthening of the health systems to make sure that the government is able to respond to COVID and make vaccines available. Also medicine availability, that has been done a lot in support with UN. Nutrition, school feeding, making sure that children under 5 maternal mortality to reduce maternal mortality. Those are the areas where UN has really been working with government, including also on job creation. UNDP ILO, for example, they've been doing a lot of work on supporting young people with skills, with loans, to be able to get jobs. So those are some of the achievements that we've had with the government. We've worked with border management issues. We've supported the government, the Ministry of Interior, to work around the border management, especially with Indonesia, setting up the systems of immigration when people come in with visa. So it's a lot, it's across all of the development objectives of the country that we've also had achievements.
Nações Unidas tinha atingimento ou tinha resultado, mas o resultado não veio governo. Então, tamba a contribuição não veio Nações Unidas ato foi diretamente para o governo. Nem unita belhare, por exemplo, a área saúde. Liu ita kulia durante o tempo Covid. Nações Unidas foi apoio para o governo, atu retam acesso para vacina para Covid. Fomos apoio para o sistema de saúde, atu bele foi atendimento de dia que estão para a malu sira. E nós foi apoio à área nessa nutrição, a merenda escolar, a área social, mas apoio para a gestão e a área fronteiriça. E o programa que facilita a visa e a imigração, né, e o Ministério Interior. E apoio nós para a área emprego. Hodi a ILO, a Organização Internacional para o Serviço Financeiro, e temos apoio para ajudar a política e a área emprego. Nações Unidas têm apoio para o governo, mas buat baru no governo atinge.
Mas Ministru, durante apoio sirne fundo sira maka apoio na bayan.
About approximately $85 million that we mobilize per year to the government of Timor-Leste, that we bring from other member states. Like I keep saying, UN itself has no money, so it has to bring money from other member states, including from the government of Timor-Leste itself, to be able to support some of this work. But beyond the money, the $85 million approximately that UN brings in as additional resources, one of the things that UN can also do, and that we're discussing with His Excellency, is how do we bring private investors from outside of Timor-Leste to put in money in social issues and invest. So in housing, in education, in health. That is one of the roles of the UN. We do the facilitation and bring these kinds of people to Timor-Leste to support the government of Timor-Leste.
Nações Unidas mobiliza a média $85 milhões por ano a apoio ao governo e ouçam se mais os países selo. A medida me Nações Unidas Laos doadores, nem lá é ouçam bem mais, nem tem que ajuda mobiliza fale parte desse selo. Agora nós acolhemos o senhor vice-primeiro ministro, mas a unisa atu bele mobilizamos financiamento do setor privado. Para a área social, a educação e a saúde. E também hoje na Nicolia também
The social investment
in
finance. Yeah, that's it.
A trial saber que a ulu Itaculia mobiliza os países doadores, agora tem que haremos para o setor privado. Mobilizamos o financiamento do setor privado, investe a área considera área social, a saúde, educação, BMOs.
Of support that UN is given and different UN agencies, you know, WFP, which is the World Food Program, UNICEF, UNFPA, the different WHO, the different agencies that are working. So there are the short-term support, which is around school feeding, making sure that babies within the ages as they are born for the first 1,000 days have enough food and enough nutrition. So if there's poverty, because poverty is a problem, if there's poverty, not just poverty, also social practices in terms of what food you give a baby. That is what is causing a lot of malnutrition in Timor-Leste, that babies are not fed properly the first 1,000 days when they are born. So UNICEF is doing a lot of work around that to support the government, to make sure that all of the pregnant, we have 40,000 pregnant, approximately 40,000 pregnant women in Timor-Leste per year. So how do we make sure that all of the babies that they have for the first 1,000 days, keep saying years, we have enough food and supplements for the babies. And once we do that, there won't be stunting. So that's a whole generation that you have stopped the stunting. Before you have the children, the babies, the mothers must be healthy. So how do we support these 40,000 women with good nutrition during the times when they are pregnant and even before they fall pregnant? So young women between the ages of 18 and 35, which is the ages where women typically would have their babies and get pregnant. How do you support their nutrition? So we're also doing that with UNFPA and government through the Ministry of Health. After that, children who are already in school feeding. So WFP has been supporting how do you strengthen and improve school feeding in schools. So that's at the different levels, different layers. But apart from all of this, we were discussing with His Excellency the President of the Republic around campaigns for breastfeeding. How do we start campaigns, and for the media like you to start speaking about breastfeeding, that is the most important factor in decreasing stunting and malnutrition, for mothers to give their children breastfeeding for the first 2 years of their lives. So those are the ways in which we've been supporting the government.
Nações Unidas for apoio ao governo em área de malnutrição e nível hoje, não nos envolve a agência hoje. Por exemplo, ida maka ita companhia de kuliah kona-ba nutrição, ida maka ita apoio lavar estira nessa merenda escolar. Mas é importante juga ita tu hare companhia de kuliah kona-ba botida nessa stunting, né? Ita tem que hareba intervenção, né? Tem que começar a usi lavar ina sei isin rua to lavar na haltina rua. Kata que matemi lorong rio ngatu sida ia lavar gira nini desenvolvimento. Nelu ni banhira ina sei isin rua ina mos tem que ia nutrição no dia. E banhira lavar que memoris lavar que mos tem que ia nutrição no dia para ia durante lorong rio ida né, mas importante ba lavar gira lavele heta stunting. Ni botona ita batang fali ia posira sa merenda escolar. E atu prevenir nemos tem que ajudamos lavar sinina. Antes lavar sinina ina sai sin rua ina nemos tem que ir nutrição no dia, tem que ir saúde no dia para ne ver pos lavar aqui o sucesso pelo mores odia. Ne duni intervenção né mais né usi lorong rio ida né li usi UNFPA, agência UNFPA. E agora e questão importante damos ba ita laos atuare nutrição, mas bem tentaremos é a minha prática